Maybe that was a little selfishness on my part. I think it was just, again, in the storytelling when we looked at it, I, as a director, kept honestly forgetting that he was there. And that was a mistake. That, if there's a character that's on stage, he needs to be there and he needs to have a reason. So again, I went back to the book and I said, what are the stories that the fish has? And the fish has no. That's his story, is no, no, no. And so we needed to heighten that more. We needed to make him a guy that's saying no, no, no. And also in the book, in the last page, the fish is smiling and he's happy. And so what is that change? How does that happen? And so that was something that we had the luxury to be able to focus on with Jerry, who's the actor who plays the fish, and really just explore who this guy is. Also, because Jerry and I are very different people, that fish does change a little bit when I played him. He became a bit more nervous because I don't have the rich tones that Jerry could have in his voice, and so I come off less authoritative and more like someone who's trying to be authoritative. So we just adapt a little bit based on the actors too sometimes. And actually one of the things that we did for the fish too is I left him on stage with nothing to do a lot last year. And so to take him away and make him more of a treat so that when you see him, it's a big deal. So that was something we did too. We realized we had Jerry just standing there going like this with the fish puppet, and it's like, well, you know what, he doesn't need to be here right now, so let's make it a fun event when he comes in and make it a fun event when he leaves. Also, this is another thing I love about doing theater for kids, and this idea of a stupid mind, is that, kids will help us fill in the story elements that we can't achieve without actors. So like this fish, in an ideal world, that puppet would just float there, if we really wanted to go with the magical idea. Well, after shows, we have question and answer period with the students that come see the shows. And we had one question, and this is to me, this has been something that drives me forever for doing theater with kids, was a student asked, how did you get the fish to move like that? And to me, that's not a kid that ignored the story. That's a kid who was watching the story so intently that in their mind, Jerry disappeared. Because in their imagination, this fish was real, this fish was there, and this fish was just alive. And so to me, that's something that I think adults learn to shut off, and I want us to learn how to turn that power back on. And to me also, not just doing theater for kids, but doing theater for families. Because so many times when we have the parents sitting next to the kids and the grandparents sitting next to the kids and even the older brothers and sisters, and they get to see how much the child is enjoying the show, and then they get to enjoy the show with the same lens, and then they get to talk about the show afterwards, it sparks things, and it gets that conversation going on how we can use our imaginations and how we can tell stories. And so to me, that question of how did you get the fish to move, it warms my heart knowing that that's out there, that exists, that they want us to tell that story so well that they're willing to go there with us. And that's a huge amount of trust too, that we have to honor all the time when we do shows.